Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to some profile reviews. Today we are using u.gg, not op.gg. Not because this is sponsored, it's not. op.gg is apparently bugged right now, so, you know, that's the only thing we can use. So I will say, we are recording this during a subathon. It's gone very, very well, and I'm, you know, thank you to everybody that was involved. And as a thank you to people that gifted 10 or more subs today, we are doing profile reviews for those people. So, first up is Zion Maximus on EU Northeast. We are in Silver 4 on Solo Queue. Not too many games, so we can't go off too much. But alas, there is still things that we can go off. So, your most played champions in ranked solo, it's already default there, is Warwick. So you got a very, very good win rate on Warwick. That's good to see. You got a negative win rate on Renekton, so that's alarming. So obviously that should be raising some alarms. So your two main champions have got equal amount of games, but you can see the difference between them. 73% win rate, 33% win rate. So that's instantly something that you can improve on, is maybe drop Renekton if you are focused on purely climbing. Your Rengar's not too bad, but, you know, limited games. Silas, let's stay away probably from Silas. And then the rest of them only one or so games. So, again, not a crazy amount we can go off. But yeah, let's change this to rank solo so we can get an idea. Right, so again, not too much ranked. So a month ago apparently was your last ranked game. So we can just say some basic advice, really. So champion stats is probably where we want to be. So you've only played 40 ranked games. You've got 9 champions played. So that means a quarter of your games you're playing a different champion every game, 25%. That is relatively high. So you might want to bring that number down to be more consistent. But then in the same matter of fact, you've played 40 games, roughly 30 of those are on 2 champions, but it's this. Like, this is your main reason that you're probably not climbing right now, is, well, these two. So, with 40 roughly games played, you've got a 33% win rate on your tied most played champion, and a 0% win rate in 4 games. Again, if you care about climbing, drop that stuff. And yes, like, your argument is like, oh, my KDA is pretty good on Renekton. True, but the problem with Renekton is he's oddly hard to carry with because of the playstyle of falling off. If you don't absolutely annihilate your lane, a lot of the time, yeah, you could have a good game, and you might not be able to carry, though. That's the problem with Renekton, and maybe that's what you're facing. So yeah, I'd definitely look into whether continue playing Renekton. If I had to go off just like what I'm seeing here, I'd probably say don't. I'd probably say continue Warwick, obviously. Maybe play some more Rengar, and then maybe look at these two because you had one really good game on both, especially the Rammus. So, yeah, definitely, it's not bad, but there's only a limited amount of games that we can go off. So, really, just play more, and you'll probably end up doing okay. And again, you've got a slight negative win rate by 1 game, but when, again, you put that in perspective, that you've got a 0% win rate here, 0%, 0%, 0%, so there's 3 games there, there's 4 games there, and a 33% win rate. If you keep to what you know, your win rate is actually pretty good, not bad. So, yeah. Alright, next up, we're going to change over. So we now want to find... Oh, that's a problem. So we were going to do an OCE person, but unfortunately they don't have OCE, apparently, on u.gg, so we're going to have to miss that person and just save that for when op.gg is working. So we're now on North America End of Fire. So, we were in Gold 3. We got a positive win rate, so that's a good sign. That means, obviously, positive win rate, you should be climbing more. Over your last 20 games, you got a 60% win rate. You're on a +4 win streak right now. Your average KDA is good, positive. You are a support main as well, so that's fine. And you are playing Lulu, 104... Wow, okay, so a big Lulu main arguably a one-trick, because that is the vast bulk of your games. But then you're not bad with the old Zyra there. Very good win rate on Leona. Negative win rate and negative win rate. So, let's see. So, yeah. There's only a limited amount of advice I can give to a support main, because I'm not a support main myself. The only things that we can kind of go through, like, does u.gg tell me things like wards? If I click on the game, maybe it'll do it. Apparently not. I don't know. Again, this is the problem with not doing it on op.gg is the problem. What does that mean? Double kill. Okay, so that means if you've done something good. So, unfortunately, it's not telling me how much you're warding. Which would be helpful. But from what I can see, KDAs are fine. You're not taking too much farm, but you are still farming, which is good. You do sometimes see supports like this game. You only took 7 farm. Yes, it was a 15-minute stomp. Maybe you could have taken a couple more. When your AD carry isn't in lane as a support, you may as well take farm. That's going to be last hits. And it does seem you are doing that occasionally, but make sure you just really are doing it. As for your champions, again, you've got to ask yourself the question, do you want to be very reliant on Lulu? Because, you know, your bulk of climbing is with Lulu, but really your Leona. Honestly, I would not ignore that. Because, again, your KD is good. Obviously, your KD is better on Lulu because she's more passive. But your win rate is very impressive on Leona, even in 15 games. That's fine. You're farming better, arguably, with Leona for your extra farm, which obviously could be also because you're taking Targons. That probably is why. But I don't know, like, again, very equal damage. You could argue that maybe you should be doing a bit more damage on Lulu with a ranged champion poke, arguably. But again, just keep doing what you're doing. You've got a positive win rate. That means you're going to continue climbing. And it's also really good to see. Yes, you are kind of a one-trick in a way, but you've played, what, nearly 200 games, and you've only got 5 champions in solo queue. That is a bit refreshing to see because, yeah, normally people have got 50 champions in 100 games. Well, you don't. And again, yeah, maybe you don't want to be as reliant as you currently on Lulu. Play that Leona more, play that Zyra more. But I think you'll be fine. Just keep playing and you're going to climb. No worries at all. Alright, next up is a guy called I Am Fighter. What do I think of Ancient Coin on Lulu? I think it's fine, depending the matchup. If you're in a matchup that you're not going to be able to poke too much, like if we actually look, what are you running? So this person is running. They are running the AP. I do think the AP is what you want because you should be looking to poke as a ranged Lulu and get those auto attacks in with the picks. I think a bad Lulu generally won't do that. But yeah, overall, I think this person will definitely climb no problem. All right, we're on NA again. I Am Fighter. So we are in Bronze 2. We do have a decent amount of games with a slightly negative win rate, so hopefully they'll be able to, we'll be able to find some things that's going on here. And remember, I will say, a lot of these things are basic advice, because, to be honest, most of the advice that you should give people, and most things that would change people to climb, is relatively basic. So straight away, out of the box, I can just already see something that you need to do. You're an AD carrier player, so yes, you've got your set role, that's great. Where is your consistency? Lucian, Xayah, Kai'Sa, Jinx, yes, it was a remake, but Varus, Caitlyn, Ezreal, Caitlyn, Ashe, Ezreal, Pyke, Jinx, Kai'Sa, Ezreal. So you have 3 Ezreal games a week ago, but then all of these games, so like over 15 games roughly, different champion every single game. That's not going to help your consistency. So that is definitely the biggest advice that I'll give you straight away, is like, let's get some consistency by playing the same thing 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row. And yeah, don't, you might not want to be a one-trick, whatever, but play 2 games of Lucian in a row, 2 games of Kai'Sa in a row, 2 games of Xayah. That will help you so much better with, one, consistency, and also improving, because what you can do is the first game you play, let's say Xayah, in that game, take note of, oh, I want to do that better. The second game, right after, you then try to improve that thing that you noted in the first game. You can't do that if you play Xayah one day, and you're like, okay, that's that, I want to try and improve that, but then you play Xayah 3 days later. You've already forgotten what you need to improve. So 100%, play the same thing twice in a row. Your first game, you know what to do better. The second game, you actively work on doing it better. 100%. OP.G is working again. We can use this for now. This is fine. Yeah, it's all right. So, yeah, we're on a bit of a loss streak. We're in a negative win rate of the last 20 games. And I will say, again, let's get that consistency going. I think that would help a bunch. We've got over 400 games. And in 400 games, we have got... Is it on rank solo? It is on rank solo. 400 games, 45 champions. That's quite a lot. Again, let's ask ourselves the basic question. From 36 to 45... Why are these champions here? There's just one random game played on these champions. And if you look at the performances, 112, 25, 16. So generally kind of not great performances. So again, ask yourself, why are you picking those random things? I'm sure there's a reason there, but maybe it's like the itch of playing something different. Again, you definitely have that because you play a different champion every game. But again, if you care about climbing, we need to get rid of that itch of playing random things. We need to get rid of that itch to play something different every game. Because even here, you know, yes, you won these games, but it's risky. And then here you played 2 games of Akali. There's 2 games there that's losses. You've played 3 games of Jax with bad performances, so there's another 3 losses. So your negative win rate, if you take it in perspective, your negative win rate is in front of you. You know, you've got a slightly negative win rate by 4 or 5 games. Well, that's, well, really, consider that's here, right there. You'd be a positive win rate if those didn't happen. And then 2 Akali games, 3 Jax games. You know, negative win rate on Jinx in 19 games, that's considerable. So ask yourself this question of, get rid of the random stuff, and instantly your win rate will improve. Instantly. Because again, you've got slight positive win rates, and a slight positive win rate is fine. You will climb with a slight positive win rate. So just get rid of your negative win rate things, get rid of the randomness. Again, 33% here on Vayne. Get rid of that, and I think you'll be fine. So main things, play less champions, play less random things, and also let's get some consistency of 2 Ezreal games in a row, you know, and all that stuff. This might have just updated itself. I think it might have just did. Yeah, it did. That's a bit weird. But yeah, let's get consistency because there isn't that much right now. And apparently, yeah, OP.GG isn't fixed. It's not showing all of your people's games, apparently. It's showing very basic, like only 4 games when someone's played a lot. So it's a bit broken. Or maybe that was in normal. That probably is why. Okay. Next up, we are still on North America. We've got Softpaw. He's in Silver 3. Slightly negative win rate. So again, we might be able to find out why. Well, really, we might have already found out. In your last 20 games, you've got a 30% win rate. So that is roughly why. Maybe it's just been a bit rough recently. Very rough down here. What am I seeing? So role-wise, we are a mid lane main question mark. Yeah, it does look to be a mid lane main. Relatively. So again, like the last guy, consistency. There's a bit, so 4 Zombie games in a row, that's good. I like to see that. Before that, though, there isn't a crazy amount of consistency. You know, there are some Lux games down here that we can kind of see that's getting blanked out. But yeah, a little bit there. But again, same story. Let's get that consistency up, play the same things. You know, as I said, in the first game, take note what you need to get better at, even if you win or lose it. Second game, then you improve it. You work on it. Other than that, we've got, again, for build, so Lux is, I presume this is mid lane Lux. Yeah, by the farm, I wouldn't guess that would be support. So you are taking Summon Area on Zoe. I wouldn't. I'm not a Zoe expert, but I think Zoe's strength is not Summon Area. I think her strength is, like, Insane Burst. So you either go Electrocute for that insane extra zing, or you go Dark Harvest for the burst late game. I would stay away from Summon Area if Zoe is something that you want to play quite a lot of. Again, go watch Vixie. She's a better Zoe than me. Don't tell her I said that. She will never run Summon Area, I'm pretty sure. If we look at, you know, you've played 470 games. In 470 games, you have got quite a lot of champions. Yes, it's a lot of games, but again, the natural thing that we always do, from 56 to 72, that is a lot of losses right there. So again, right there is your negative win rate. Right there. If you get rid of just playing these random little picks, and again, we always mention it, you know, bad performances. 3-6 Ezreal, 3-5 Riven, 0-12 Camille, 1-8 Jhin. So don't play random champions in ranked, obviously. That's straight away, instantly improvement. And again, it's a history. Throughout all of these, look how many negative win rates we've got, you know. Negative win rate there, negative win rate there, negative, 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 negative. So if you stick with the champions that you've got a good win rate with, Lux, Warwick definitely, Morgana's pretty good, and you get rid of all of these champions with negative win rates, you'd have a good win rate right now. Like, it would probably be 52, 53% easily, but it's just being hammered down by the sheer amount of random stuff that you're playing. So that's the biggest advice that I want you to do, Softpaw, is like, let's get rid of the random stuff, and you'll probably climb pretty quick after you stop doing that. Instantly. So yeah, that is, again, these videos, I never want to give crazy advice because there's no need, because that one bit of advice is the only thing that you need to focus on in order to improve. Okay, Softboy is saying a lot of those were during role ranked. Fair enough. Again, that is the issue because we don't know when those are played. So yeah, so be careful of that, obviously. But again, let's just get that consistency going. Let's not play Teemo. Stuff like that, and I think you'll be fine. You know, honestly, I think you'll be fine. You know, maybe again, look into a Zoe a little bit more. Don't go Summon Airy. But other than that, there doesn't seem to be anything obvious to me that is a mistake. So, yeah. Could I go over items and matchups? It's hard to do sometimes, though. So let's take out... what can we do? This Zoe game, I guess. What are you against? So you're against a Talon. See, when you're against something like a Talon, going Dark Harvest would be really good because he's melee and you can poke him more and get a lot. You could arguably get more Dark Harvest stacks for late game. So especially in a melee matchup, you should be abusing the Dark Harvest more. Build is fine. Lichbane, very questionable. I don't think second item Lichbane is worth it because I don't think Zoe gets enough AP to warrant it. Yes, she has an auto attack passive, but generally your damage doesn't come from your auto attack. So I wouldn't prioritize a Lichbane on Zoe. I would prioritize... Well, Ludens is good. Then I'd probably prioritize a Morellonomicon second. So I would generally... Again, I don't know if Lichbane is something that you buy often. On Zoe, I would avoid it. I don't think that's what you want to do. Again, I'm not a Zoe expert, but I play against Zoes quite a lot. I watch Zoe quite a bit, and none of them really build Lichbane. So yeah, that's what I'd say. So I'd avoid that. And Softball says he does buy that a lot. So yeah, try not buying that and try the Dark Harvest build and Electrocute, and I think you'll be good. But yeah, stick with that advice, and I think you'll be fine. Next up, we've got EUS now. This guy. Yeah, so it's go Ludens first, Morello if you need anti-healing, Zonya if you need survivability, or Rabadons if you're really fed and you just want to one-shot things, basically. Right, so we are on EUS, we're in Bronze 2. We've got a slightly negative win rate, but again, not too many games that we can go off here. We can change that to rank solo as well. So we're mainly a Nico main, but there are a few things randomly here. But again, what is alarming a little bit, Arcane Comet and Zoe, no. What is alarming to me is a negative win rate on your most played 2 champions. So that is alarming to me straight away. Obviously, it's only 15 games, so it's not crazy amount of loss. You know, with 15 games, a 40% win rate, 47% win rate, that's probably one more loss than you have win. But again, I've always said, in your top box, if you go on your own profile and your top box has negative win rate champions, you should be alarmed. Your top box is what you should be having as your best picks, with all positive win rates. All positive win rates. So that's instantly something that is like, ooh. And I wonder why. So, where are we? So, just to kind of check again, it's the first thing we check. We've got 39 ranked games. In 39, we've got 11 games. Again, loss, loss, loss. Bad performance, bad performance, bad performance. Why are they there? Instantly, there's 3 games that you don't need. And hey, those 3 games are your negative win rate again. But as for this, your performances look pretty solid. Again, your actual KDs and how you're doing, yeah, I think you could definitely climb judging on this. So you've got a perfect KDA there, a legendary KDA there, great KDA, great KDA, great KDA, 2 games with both good KDAs. Neutral KDA, which is good. Blue, I think that's blue. So your KDAs are good. That means that you're not performing badly, at least, on the champions that you are playing, but then why aren't you winning? So if we dive a bit deeper potentially on why you aren't winning, again, if we can do that from a profile review, we'll try. So let's look at this game. Nico, it's Nico with Arcane Comet, which is normally not what, you know, normally you don't do that anymore. So it's Nico mid. You're against a Xerath. He is 0-5, so it looks like you're having a good game. What's the build? So we are running Ludens. We are then running a Banshee. And we're running then a Arm Guard. Why are you going a Banshee? I guess maybe to get rid of a bit of the damage and maybe the Lux Q, I guess. Oh, the Lux got fed, so maybe that's why. Yeah, Airy Xerath's a bit weird. I don't know why that's there. So, I will say, I'm not going to say Arcane Comet Nico's terrible. Again, I want to dive a bit deeper. So you say Lux and Shyvana. Okay, so it was AP Shyvana, and so these 2 are getting fed and they're both AP. True. But you also got to tell yourself, say to yourself, they're also very squishy. So if you build damage and you catch them as a Nico, you use your stealth, you get into an ultimate in a great situation, you also arguably could one-shot them if you're building damage, not defense. Sometimes the best defense is actually offense. So on Nico, I would personally never really build defense unless it's a Zhonya's. Or if you're doing the Glacial build, then obviously you get the 2 Glacial items. So that is one thing. To me, Nico is an aggressive champion, not defensive. Unless it's Zhonya's, I honestly wouldn't bother with the Banshees. I'd always just go aggressive. You're having a good game. If you replace that with a more damage item, there was potentially a bigger chance of you just one-shotting things that, you know, you're going to one-shot that, you're probably going to one-shot that, or at least set them up to die very quickly. Arcane Comet, I'm okay with it on Nico. I think I've done it in the past. I would potentially say that the Glacial is just overall stronger, or even Electrocute's not bad on Nico if you're confident for one-shotting things. Arcane Comet's fine, but if you are a Nico main and you want to carry, I'd really prioritize going for this big one-shot damage builds, or you go for Glacial and then you set everything up, basically. So yeah, that's my only thing. Again, it's hard to kind of delve really deep because this is just one game, but I think you'll be fine. Maybe try out, I don't know if you have tried out at all, if you haven't tried out the GLP build and the Glacial build. So you've got Electrocute there. Where's a... Oh, so you do it occasionally. That's good to see. So it's not like you don't do it at all. But yeah, potentially try out Electrocute Nico. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like, right now, if I do Nico, it might show... So right now, the most popular build is Glacial Augment. So that says something right away. If I do a... You know, her tough matchup is Galio, blah, blah. So in Zereth matchup... So Zereth matchup, maybe this is why you did Arcane Comet, is because it told you to do this. It's possible. But that guy did go Summonary too. I don't know. Maybe I'd probably stick to the Glacial build more. Glacial build is so good for Nico because you can just keep everything in your ultimate. And you just kill everything. With your spell, with the item, to then into your E and your ultimate, it's insane. It's really good. So maybe look into doing that. But overall, I think you'll climb... if you just, again, we spoke about earlier, let's get consistency in, play the same things a few times in a row, and also, yeah, let's not play random 3 things and keep with the things that you're good at. That's basically it. A lot of games, I perform well, but my team doesn't. How do I carry? So, the way you do that, and again, this is this person asking this question, you... roam, obviously, is one way of doing it, or you take priority in calling objectives. If you watch the replay game that we did of the AP Galley, or that might be tonight's video. I can't remember if that's tonight. That's tonight's video. There's a video coming out tonight that by the time this gets uploaded to YouTube, it shows an AP Galio mid that he is making the pings of objectives. So he's pinging Dragon. He's pinging Rift Herald. He will even go as far as when his jungler's near him, he will start the objective and then leave the objective. He is just making things happen. So that's how you do it. If you're doing well, you will make things happen by forcing it to happen. That's how you do it. So that. Roam, don't stay in mid lane all the time, obviously, and force the objectives when you know it's a good idea. And then our final one, I believe. Yes, final one is back on North America. Boom. Luna Hoof. Change it to rank solo. We were in Silver 2. Positive win rate. That's a good sign. Positive win rate with recently a little bit of a bad spree. So that's also still a good sign. It means you haven't like completely ruined yourself. Even in the recent history. We are, I think, a top lane main with a bit of mid thrown in and also a bit of AD carry thrown in, especially AD carry recently. So one tick in the box is I do like we're seeing consistency. Caitlyn, 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 Nico, Nico. So that's good. That does show that you are looking to get better because you're looking to be consistent with this. That's awesome. White Fang, thank you very much, dude. Thanks for the 2 months in a row with us up. So like that, obviously you have lost recently on Caitlyn and you have a negative win rate on it. Is it because you picked up AD carry recently? Possibly. So again, look, Caitlyn, 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 Caitlyn. So really does look like you want to get good at Caitlyn, and it's good to see it being spammed. I like that, because that makes you improve the quickest. Obviously, goes without saying, you can spam a champion 1,000 times and still suck at that champion. That's why the average one trick is still only in silver. Make sure when you're playing a champion to improve, you are actually paying attention what to improve on. I recommend having a little sticky note, and every single time you die, say how you died in the sticky note with no bias. No like, oh, my teammate baited me. Say how you died. Oh, I died because we had no vision. I died because I mispositioned. I died... Like, that is the easiest way that you're going to improve. Because if I'm honest, what I'm looking at right here, when you're looking to improve on Caitlyn, in your good performances, you're not dying much. Notice in your bad performance, 8 death, 7 death, 7 death, 5 death negative KD. So you are the 10 death there that we can see that's kind of blurry. So in your bad performances, you're dying a lot. Why are you dying? Write it down, improve on it, and that will help straight away. As for everything else, we've got nearly, we got like 370 whatever games. And in that time, we have got, is that ranked solo? It is 370 games, 30 champions. That is a completely fine ratio. That's not too many. Oh, okay. We'll go on that in a second. But again, randomness. These are only 5 games, but 5 losses. And again, when you look at the performances, 1 and 8, 1 good game there. 3 and 7, 0, 7, 0, 7, 0, 2. Again, random picks potentially, maybe a bit of panic, you got auto-filled, who knows. But this is also why you should have a champion in every single role prepared in case you do get auto-filled. So there's that randomness taken away. So again, there are, bits and pieces of randomness here. 2 games on Karthus, 0 wins. 2 games on Swain, 0 wins. So let's get rid of that. If you keep with the champions that you know you're having good performances on, you'll easily climb. And what Lunahoof in Twitch chat just said, and what has made it interesting, they are duo queuing, I guess when they're in support, when they're AD carrying, and they are duo queuing, apparently, with a Blitzcrank. So I'm going to tell you right now, that's not a great combo. Caitlyn Blitzcrank is not a combo that I would deem amazing, and it can work, trust me. You can have a Blitzcrank hook into his knockup, and you're, in theory, putting a trap down, and boom. But really, when you're wanting a Blitzcrank, you want something a lot more hyper-aggressive in lane phase, something a lot stronger in lane phase to use the Blitzcrank. So I wouldn't say, again, if you want to play Caitlyn Blitzcrank in this rating, that's fine. But if you are looking to improve and min-max doing well, maybe not Caitlyn. Tristana would be a better pick, because as Blitzcrank hooks something with the all-in, you can jump on someone's face and murder them. Lucian would be a better pick. Early aggression in lane phase. Hell, Kai'Sa is just really strong in general. So, maybe not. If you are wanting Caitlyn, I don't know if it's you wanting to play Caitlyn or your Blitzcrank. If both of you are set on just playing those champions, I'd say that's a bit of an issue. But if one of you is willing to swap, if you're Caitlyn and your Blitzcrank guy is, he can go Morgana, way better. If your guy is, I'm only playing Blitzcrank, and you go, I'll play Tristana, way better. So I just think maybe what's not helping you, if you are 100% duoing in bot lane, this isn't a great matchup. These two don't mesh well together. Caitlyn with a support wants something that is a lot more strategic than Blitzcrank hook in and please kill it for me, because Caitlyn doesn't do that in the early game. She's not good at doing that in lane phase. So that's what I'd say is the biggest thing that you probably need to work on with your duo partner, is work up a good duo matchup. So yeah. Or yeah, Jhin can work with Blitzcrank okay if you go a aggressive Jhin build, Dark Harvest, Hail of Blades, that can also work quite well. But that's going to be it. Those are all the reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, so let me know, I guess, the feedback that you guys can give. Did you prefer u.gg or op.gg? Again, not sponsored, it's because op.gg is broken right now. But yeah, let me know. Like it, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.